The next caller is from Tower Hill, and it's Alex. Good morning, Alex.
Hello, hi Sadiq. Hi, yeah, I run an organisation called Reform Political Advertising.
Yep.
We're a politically neutral, not-for-profit organisation campaigning for the House of Lords recommendation for there to be regulation for factual claims in electoral ads. And we launched a code for factual accuracy in electoral advertising this week. And I just wanted to ask you a straight yes or no question about it. The key point in the pledge that we're approaching parties and candidates in the mayoral election to support is that in your election advertising this year, you're going to make every reasonable effort not to mislead voters, ensure that factual claims are accurate according to recognised sources, and acknowledge if you make a mistake and issue a public correction as quickly as possible. The Green parties have already signed up to this. Will you sign up to it too?
This is Alex Tate, who was in the studio on Wednesday from Reform Political Advertising with a pretty straightforward question.
Well, Alex, I'm sure I'll ask my election agent to speak to you to see what we can do in relation to that. Can you go back in time to 2016 during the Brexit campaign? Because that bus was a lie, wasn't it?
Well, actually, there's disinformation across all of our elections. We've been tracking them, and we tracked the last mayoral election. It was particularly dirty, like we saw Sean Bailey sending, fake letters with a made-up City Hall logo for Londoners, and Brian Rose's antics. So it's a real opportunity
Alex,
to take some leadership.
Of course I'm sympathetic. I've been at the receiving end, as you know, James knows, in elections, and you've just given another example of that. So of course I'm sympathetic to this. I probably get massive resignations from my election agent if I suggest on air, but of course we're sympathetic, and I'll make sure that my team speaks to you to make sure we can sign up to this. I mean, my only anxiety, just speaking candidly with you, is, as I've always been straight in relation to not just my election literature, but also as mayor in relation to what we are doing. We've got to have a level playing field, Alex, because what would be unfair is if I continue to be straight, candid and honest with Londoners, but my Tory opponent or others weren't. And so, of course, it's got to be right what you're saying. We've seen the consequence. James gave one example in relation to people's views on immigration, of misinformation. So, of course, we can have, factually accurate information. And by the way, sometimes we can make an error. Put your hands up and accept that an error has been made and correct that. And so, of course, I'm sympathetic, Alex. I'm going to encourage my election agent to speak to you as soon as this call is finished.
I'm going to keep an eye on this as well, because I don't quite buy that response. The idea that you can't commit to being honest in case...
I've said I'm sympathetic. No, I've said I'm sympathetic.
What you also said was you can't commit to it because the other lot might carry on lying. But the two wrongs are never going to make a right, are they?
Hold on a sec, Alex. We've got to recognise that that the last two mayoral campaigns have seen the Tories fight dirty, misinformation, lies, and some would say racist and Islamophobic. Now, listen, I'm somebody who always has tried to fight campaigns that are Marcus of Queensberry, where my opponents, use Fight Club rules. What I'm saying to Alex is, of course, I'm sympathetic to what you're talking about. Of course, I try and have high standards. Of course, I try and have altitude. But I'm signposting Alex to my election agent in relation to pledges that have been signed up, because what happens is, you'll be aware, James, there'll be callers after callers between now and May the 2nd asking me to sign up to things. So yes, Alex, I'm sympathetic. And thank you, by the way, for the public service you're providing. And so I'll make sure my election agent speaks to you as soon as we finish this call.
And we will stay in touch with Alex and make sure that he does get a full and frank response. I think the Conservative candidate's on Monday, Alex. I don't know whether you'll be able to get on and perhaps put the same question to her, but she's on with Nick Ferrari on Monday morning. Yeah, we ran it at the... So we asked a similar question to candidates on the last mayoral election. I think maybe we're a bit late with Sadiq, but the Liberal Democrats and the Greens signed up to it, as well as 7 candidates in total. So yeah, we'll definitely speak to you.
No, thanks, Alex, and thank you.
Londoners would be quite disappointed if you can't commit to be factually accurate in your election ads. It's a very simple ask.
Yeah, no, thanks, Alex, and I'll make sure that my election agent speaks to you when we finish this call. I think we've got time for another call, haven't we?
One more.
Yeah, so the next caller is from... Thanks, Alex. The next caller is from